this is Doxy Mom, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done so already, I greatly appreciate if you hit that little red subscribe button. You can ring the bell for notifications, and if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. Well, Miss Valentine and I, we're here to bring you the news in 15 minutes or less, so let's get started. Now, Just the News is reporting that Congressman Greg Steube, he's a Republican from Florida, he suggested in an interview with John Solomon something we've known and been saying for years, that the DOJ could pursue charges of treason in connection with conduct related to the Trump-Russia investigation. Now, Greg said, if it's not clear to you now, it should be abundantly clear when these indictments start coming out for individuals involved in this through the Durham probe, that this was a politicized, weaponized FBI at the highest level that was trying to take down a presidential campaign and then an incumbent president once he got sworn in, and that should scare every American. Well, let me just add, there are 182,107 federally sealed indictments. That number is getting ready to change as we get into August. And our president has used the word treason many times over the past 3 years, trying to prepare people for what is coming. And the only thing I disagree with is that this doesn't scare me. This makes me want justice. And I believe justice will be served. I just wish I knew when that was going to happen. But I do believe that some of these court proceedings will go through military tribunals for 2 reasons. First, because Lindsey Graham and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, they discussed them. I'm sure you all remember that. Then Mark Taylor, he has prophesied about military tribunals. And I've also heard that Court TV may televise some of these. Don't know that, just something I've heard. Now back to the article. Congressman Gregg goes on to say this: we're not talking about individual agents operating in field offices across the country. We're talking about the leadership of the FBI, operating the FBI in a way that they're deceiving the FISA court, that they're surveilling American citizens for political purposes, and they completely discredited an agency that was once esteemed throughout law enforcement. And remember, 17 says that FISA will bring down the House. Now, Greg believes this. He says the level to which this agency and these individuals were trying to thwart an incoming president, to me, is treasonous, end quote. Well, Greg, you are absolutely right. They spied, and then they tried to overturn a duly elected president, but God, he won't let anything or anyone touch our wonderful president. Now, we all know this is war. President Trump will be reelected in 2020. The chaos will end, y'all. The deep state evil players, they will eventually go to prison. Some will be executed, and we will win this war. But we've got to keep President Trump in our prayers, and we've got to walk into our polling stations and vote in November, and I will leave a link. Now, Congressman Gregg, he's been busy because the Gateway Pundit is reporting that during Wednesday's congressional hearing, there was in attendance Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, Tim Cook from Apple, and Sundar Pichai from Google. So, Congressman Gregg asked Sundar directly if he's censoring the Gateway Pundit. And of course, Sundar denied it. And now, despite being a more accurate news source than the mainstream media for 3 years and counting, a new study finds that the Gateway Pundit has been blacklisted by Google. And Greg, he grilled Sundar on why it is when you Google Gateway Pundit, you have to go to like the 3rd page of results to find it. until right before Sundar was to come and testify. Then, all of a sudden, the Gateway Pundit, when you Googled it, it just popped right up. Now, Sundar, he couldn't give Greg an answer, so Greg gave him 2 weeks to get back to him on it. Now, I use the Gateway Pundit all the time, and I have it as a shortcut on my laptop or my desktop, so guys, I don't have to search for it. But you and I both know anytime you Google anything, well, what do they give you? CNN, Washington Post, MSDNC, and all those other fake news outlets. You have to search and search and search before you can find some truth in there. So, Sundar at Google, and Bezos at the Washington Post, Mark at Facebook, and Jack on Twitter, and that evil woman in charge of YouTube all need to be punished for this blatant censorship. And I'll leave a link. Now, President Trump tweeted this out. If Congress doesn't bring fairness to big tech, which they should have done years ago, I will do it myself with executive orders. In Washington, it has been all talk and no action for years, and the people of our country are sick and tired of it. End tweet. Well, we certainly are, Mr. President. So, on Wednesday afternoon, the Trump White House published their executive order on online censorship, and the executive order prevents social media giants from altering or editorializing free speech and demands the tech giants provide transparency requirements for their moderation practices. So thank you, Jesus, and thank you, President Trump. And I look forward to the day where they will stop unsubscribing you guys from my channel. You know I love all of my subscribers, and it's just not right. Now, David C., he tweeted this out. Remember when Tim Tebow took a knee to celebrate God and the NFL went berserk, saying the field isn't the place for divisive displays of one's beliefs? What changed, Roger? End tweet. Well, guys, we all know I believe they're going to lose millions. So, and also all those companies that are backing Black Lives Matter and Antifa, I know that I won't be supporting any organizations that support these racist and terrorist organizations. Now, Paul Sperry, he tweeted this out. The Steele dossier is the very definition of election interference. Well, yes, it certainly is. And the Democrats, well, they're trying to do it again with riots and COVID and mail-in voting. And then Bryson Gray tweeted this. Ohio Department of Health just banned hydroxychloroquine. Why? The drug has been used for multiple things for years. Why ban it? This isn't weird to y'all. They're banning drugs that real doctors say can help with COVID. End tweet. Guys, they're banning the cure. How many deaths will they be responsible for? How many deaths are the 5 governors who put COVID patients into the nursing homes responsible for? This is heartbreaking. And next, the Gateway Pundit. Well, they are reporting that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is 87 years old, she revealed she began a course of chemotherapy treatments to treat a reoccurrence of liver cancer on May 19th. And now on Wednesday, she underwent a procedure to replace a bile duct stent, and she hopes to go home at the end of the week. Guys, she's got more lives than a cat. And of course, she's still working. But you all know how I feel about this. Can you say body doubles? And I'll leave a link. And then the Gateway Pundit is reporting that Mr. Deep State himself, Obama's CIA Director John Brennan, well, he is working on a memoir. Of course he is. Because you know him, like James Comey and others, they're all wanting to write books. Well, John went in to get his classified notes and records and found out that he'd been blocked. Well, it's about time, because classified information should be solely for the benefit of the government and the American people, not for traitors to our country. And then JT at Brother Liberty, he tweeted this out. Until there are formal charges brought against John Brennan, he needs to be repeatedly and incessantly reminded that government classified information does not belong to him and he has no right to it. End tweet. And I'll leave a link, and I'm going to leave you with Proverbs chapter 4 verses 14 through 19 that say, "Do not set foot on the path of the wicked, or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way. For they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble." Well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, this is Doxy Mom, and God bless you all.